Hey friends, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the series where I play every Resident Evil. Today we have Resident Evil Survivor. So since I have an actual complete copy of this game, I get to show it off to you guys. So we have the first, the classic PlayStation 1, case, with the protagonist on the cover, as well as the Super Duper Tyrant right here. So on the back, it's just got some, information about the game, some of the enemies, the spider, this dork, who we'll talk about later in the game. He's stupid. I hate him. And here we got the game itself. The game disc has a couple of the enemies, as well as the manuals. And here we have the manual, which, I really wish they would bring these guys back, because it's just fun to, just read about all the different things in here. And, got the, there's different characters about it. And a Capcom registration thing. What do you guys think would happen if I filled this out? Want to get something cool? Who knows? But yeah, anyways, without further ado, let's get into
Resident Evil Survivor.
So the game starts off with an action-packed cutscene of some guy hanging from a helicopter. And eventually it crashes, and you, the player character, emerge from the pilot seat. And so this is where you explore the surrounding area, and you're introduced to the game's movement system. So since we're in first person now, the movement system is pretty straightforward. So up and down on the D-pad move you forward and backward, and then the left and right buttons on the D-pad have you turning left and right, respectively. And aiming a gun is just like the other games, with the right trigger button and the action button to shoot. However, the aiming is controlled with the D-pad. There's a little reticle on screen that lets you aim. And accessing the inventory is really weird in this game. It's done by moving the right thumbstick up. And I can't tell you how many times I accidentally opened the inventory just during random moments because I bumped it. And so once you get used to the controls, you enter a new area where you find the man who was hanging from the helicopter got thrown from it, and he's currently unconscious on the ground. And this is also where you learn that the character you're playing as has amnesia. And, as you're learning this, a zombie attacks you, and you have to use, your new shooting mechanics to take it out. But once you do that, you get a key from it, which lets you open up a creepy church. And it's here where you explore and learn more about the game's mechanics as you go along. So instead of a traditional Resi game where you have complete control over your inventory and you can choose what you pick up and whatnot, this game has you run into floating items on the ground and it automatically picks it up for you. And so there's no inventory limit here, so you don't have to worry about running out of space. And you also don't have to worry about using items. They're automatically used when you walk into a door, or when you walk into a computer, it'll automatically use the item for you. So after some exploring, you'll stumble into the main town area. And it's here where you'll encounter a few returning enemies, such as the zombie dogs, spiders, and lickers. And after exploring the town for a while, you'll trigger a cutscene where a bunch of new BOWs from Umbrella drop in, and some rando thinks he's cool and tries to drop a badass line.
Remember your mission! We're doing a clean sweep of the area! Everyone and everything must be cleansed! Now move out!
And eventually you'll stumble upon these creatures, these BOWs, which really don't do much except they cartwheel towards you and then they try to shoot you. And they also make jaguar noises. It's really weird. And BOWs are really interesting concepts that I feel Resi never really touches fully on. Hopefully RE9 revisits it, since they had them at the end of 8. Let's hope that they do, because I think that's a pretty interesting concept that they never really revisit. And so eventually you'll enter a room in the sewers and find a document that talks about the leader of Umbrella on this island, whose name is Commander Vincent. And the file goes into detail about how brutal and evil Vincent is. He's torturing human subjects, and he executed a whole bunch of prisoners who tried to escape. And then under the file, you find a photo that reveals that you apparently are Vincent. And as you're like grappling with this, a young boy then sees you, and he like, cries and says, "Oh, please don't kill me," and then he runs away. And so obviously, you as the character, you're like, you're kind of shocked about this because you didn't, it's appalling to you. And so you continue on, and after fighting several different monsters in the town, including a few tyrants, you make your way to the main Umbrella building in the city. And it's here where you encounter Lickers and tyrants, as well as a little girl named Lily. And she's scared of you, obviously, and her brother Lot, he arrives and he tries to attack you. But they both run off eventually, and you follow them outside. And after a short chase, you find Lily in a random house. And she tells you that Lot went to the Umbrella factory nearby to find an escape route. And so you set off to the factory. You fight a bunch of more enemies along the way. And so once you enter the factory, you learn that this is where they make tyrants. And so this part is actually pretty cool. So you learn that apparently the only way to like get the chemical needed to make a tyrant is to operate on someone's brain while they're alive and conscious. And I really wish they would have focused more on this aspect, because this was like really cool, like learning how tyrants are made and stuff. But they I don't know, you really only figure it out like right here, and they really don't elaborate on it more. And so also in the factory are the plants from RE2. Again, for some reason they're here without really an explanation. In reality, they just threw them in there because they needed something to spice up the gameplay, because it's the finale. But anyways, so after some exploring, you come across a room with tanks full of tyrants. And, I guess their trench coats are part of their body? Do they grow them? Are they like an exoskeleton? Who knows? I don't think the team that made this, really didn't think about that. But anyways, eventually you'll find Lot, who drops some exposition that you're actually Ark Thompson, a private detective who's trying to expose Umbrella on behalf of his good old friend,
Leon S. Kennedy,
who refers to their friend by their full name. What? Huh? And now, suddenly, the island decides to blow itself up. Because, every Resi needs to have a random self-detonation, of course. Yeah. And so, the dork from Umbrella soon arrives, and he tries to kill you, but he gets attacked and instantly murdered by a super-duper tyrant. And so you flee with Lot and Lily on a tram car. Oh yeah, they randomly showed up, by the way. And so you flee with them on a tram car and find a helicopter. But before you can board, the super duper tyrant attacks. And so this fight is pretty simple. You just mag dump it for a while until it mutates and its heart pops out, and then you mag dump some more until it drops. And then the three of you escape in the helicopter just in time as the island explodes. But it's not over yet, as the super duper tyrant has climbed onto your chopper. You then kill it in the goofiest way possible. And fly off into the place where one game Resi characters go to disappear forever. So, personally, I wasn't a big fan of this game, as you can probably tell by the video. The story is honestly pretty weak for a Resident Evil game, which is saying a lot, because most Resi games, honestly don't really have that good of a story. The gameplay is also an interesting idea, but, the PlayStation 1, isn't really the best place for a first-person shooter. And this is kind of a nitpick, but the camera is constantly fighting against you. So whenever you get hit by an enemy, the camera turns to face that enemy, which I get why they do that, because they want you to shoot it. But that mechanic makes it really hard for you to run away from enemies. Whenever you get into a group of zombies or something and you accidentally get hit by one of them while you're trying to run away, it just turns you to face that group, and it's just really hard to run away unless you use the quick turn or something. But yeah, anyways, overall, I'd say that this game has some interesting mechanics, but due to the hardware, they just weren't able to fully realize them. So I'm interested to see if the sequel that's based on Code Veronica improves upon them, or has the same pitfalls. And so I can't really recommend this game, even though the game is only 2 hours. It was definitely a struggle to get through. It's definitely on the bottom tier of Resi games for me, personally. And that's the video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I just want to let you guys know right now that I'm actually going to be taking a short break from this Resident Evil series, because honestly this game was pretty bad, and it almost burnt me out from wanting to continue the Resident Evil series. So I'm going to take a quick, a couple video break from this. I'll post some other stuff, some other gaming content. And I just want to say thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.